kidding me? Playoffs?
Big red lips and long blonde hair. Let me wake you up when you walk over there. Boom.
All right. How you doing, folks? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report for a Thursday. It is Thursday, October 27th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your Thursdays. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you are using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by your friends right here at hockeypicks.com. Sign up today and follow the top hockey pickers each and every day right here at hockeypicks.com. Don't forget, you can also follow the top basketball pickers at bballpicks.com. And don't forget, if you want to count how much money you made on that parlay last night, all those NBA games last night, you go to parlaycalculator.com. And what you do is you put in your figures. So let's say we got a 150 underdog, a 220 favorite, a minus 110. You got a nice 120 underdog, a 140 favorite, and you put $25 and you calculate it, and it pays $629.55. And that is the parlaycalculator.com and how it works. And you can get it here each and every day just by visiting the website. It's a free website, parlaycalculator.com. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are located on the World Wide Web. My name is Ron Raymond. I'm a 5-time sports handicapping champion based out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. In 2009, I wrote the book, Ron Raymond's Top 50 Sports Betting Secrets. You can get that book each and every day right here at atsstats.com, or you can get it on Amazon. And if you're looking for a little guidance, that is the book you want to basically just learn about the do's and don'ts of sports betting. And I also have a nice article that I wrote here on betting tips and beginners' mistakes, right? We always talk about some of the beginners' mistakes, things like betting blindly with no game plan or a system. Do you have a money management system? We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Consistently betting on losing teams, you don't do that, right, Denny the goalie?
No, you don't do that.
No, you don't like doing that. Understanding value in sports betting. Try not to act on impulse. That's a big one. That's the gambler's kryptonite, as I call it. Try not to act on impulse. You know, when you sit there, and the worst thing to do, and here's another pearl here on a Thirsty Thursday. The worst thing you can do is there's like 2 minutes to tip off, 2 minutes to puck drop, and you did no research on the game, and you're going, oh, I got to get that action in that impulsive bet. How many times you made that impulsive bet, and after the first 10 minutes, you're going, what was I thinking? Hey, what was I thinking? Just like the Patriots were saying on Monday night, right?
The Bears are what we thought they were. What we thought they were.
Yeah, the Bears are who they thought they were, and I'm having trouble letting that one go. But I did have the Bears though in my contest, so I don't know why I'm always harping on that one. But less is more, right? And that's one of my biggest things I always preach on this show each and every day. Less is more. It's probably one of the best quotes in life. Avoid chasing losses. That's some of the beginner's mistake. But again, if you're interested in learning more about the Raymond Report, you know where to go right here at atsstats.com and check out the book. It's a pretty good book. And speaking of sales, we're having a flash sale right now. Weekly, monthly, or year packages right now. If you go to the website, atsstats.com, put in promo code ATS25, that's ATS25, no spaces, you will get 25% off your weekly, monthly, or year package, and take advantage of that, and hopefully we can help you with your sports handicapping needs. All right, I see the bullpen is, wow, you guys are off and running this morning into the bullpen. That's what we call our chat box, and Scotty's first one in, so Scotty gets a little bit of a Ric Flair right there. Good morning, Scott. Morning, all Thirsty Thursdayers. Good morning, everybody. Says Jukebox. How about the Nets? Plus 3.5 max, eh? Tigers 58. Come on, Jukebox. Hey, you got to play nice now. We just, you know, we verbally spanked Tiger 5-10 yesterday, saying, you know what? Don't be a hater. Come on, Jukebox. You're better than that. Even though we had Milwaukee. No, you do exactly. No, you don't do that.
No, you don't do that.
You don't do that.
Oh, no, never.
And you
never.
know why?
Why not?
Against the rules. All right, morning all. Good morning, Brent Vianney. Hey. Chris McIntosh is in the house. Good morning, Chris. Isaiah Moore is in the house. Mark Nation. Good morning, everyone. Hey, the ATL is represented. Hey, baby. My fave soundbite. Yeah, baby. Yeah, this is he's talking about this right here.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, that's a Thirsty Thursday right there. Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Mitchell Watson. Mitchell Watson is in the house. I like this kind of party, baby.
Hey, baby! We're going to be here all day!
Yeah.
We're going to be here all day,
Well,
baby.
we'll be here for the next hour.
I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
Yeah, we like this kind of party. Not all day, though, Mike. We'll be here for about an hour, and then we got to carry on with our life. Laker under was so sweet, says Pele J. Did we get ever a song name or an artist for our intro music? I like the way you look. I don't know who sings it. I know. You know how many times I get emails or comments people asking me, where does this intro music come from? Hey? It's almost like the Jim Rome thing a bit back in the day, right?
Look over there, big red lips and long blonde hair.
Tell me that jingle doesn't stay in your head all day, right? It does in mine. Did we ever get a song? Okay, good morning, Marlon Goobles. All right, Marlon Goobles. First, let's give a round of applause for Marvin for coming into the bullpen on roll call. Good job, Marlon, and good morning and welcome to the Rain Report. All right, Juke Boss, good call. Pele J, good morning. Sam Mitchell. Hey, Sam Mitchell's in the house. Is that the Sam Mitchell that used to be the Toronto Raptors coach? If it is, good morning, Samuel. Coach gave us 2 gems. Also, Pele J. Yeah, we did have nice 2 picks yesterday, right? We had the New York Islanders. That was, you know, I'm trying to understand the New York Rangers right now. What's going on with the Rangers? You know, I know Gerard Gallant, they're off to a good start with that opening night win against Tampa Bay. But right now, the Rangers...
Struggling.
Yeah, struggling big time. Big win last night for the Boatmen. 3-0 win. And I got a nice little tip last night from our good friend Johnny Peresco. Yeah, he says that the Rangers had to, they were doing a cross promotion. They were in the bus. Maybe they too long in the bus there. They had the spaghetti legs going there in the first period. Funny. Good morning, crew. Rui Pedro Nageria's in the house from all the way from Lisbon, Portugal. Good morning, Rui. Another lesson. Hello, Raymond. Love the show. A real lesson. Timmy Two Shoes in the house. What's up, Timmy? What the hell's going on in here? Yeah, hey? Yeah, thank you, Coach Lombardi. Islanders were a smash last night with the Rangers, fell victim to a lame marketing scheme. Yeah, that's why they lost, right? Because they used mass transit to get to the game, come out flat. You know what? That's not a wrong thing either, right? When I was coaching the provincial team, the football team here in Ontario, and from Ottawa, we travel, say, to Windsor or London, Ontario, or Toronto. That's a thing. The spaghetti leg things, you know, when you get a team right off the bus, you go into the locker room, you get changed, you stretch, and you go play a game. That's not a good thing for players. You know, you gotta get them up like in the bus. You gotta take a couple of stops. You can't just be sitting for 5-6 hours, get off a bus, and go play a sport, right? So that's, you know, there is some truth to that there, Nature Boy right there. Yeah, Lakers got roasted. 0-4. I was reading this morning. I saw that LeBron James, first time he's gone 0-4 since his rookie year. 0-4. I tell you, what did I say about the Lakers, right? They're a great YMCA team right now. Lakers stink worse than my daughter's diapers, says Brent Vianney.
How about our offense? When are we going to put it together?
Yeah.
How about our offense?
Yeah, that's what they were saying at halftime yesterday. All right, Walking Spotted Bear used to be able to basically type one line of a song into Google, and it would find out if you don't know it works anymore. Ronnie, yeah, you know what? I'll check that out after the show. I'll check that out. It's a great tune. I know. Hey, I can play this tune like forever, but I'd probably get tired of it. But it's has that catchy.
Big red lips and long blonde hair. Like the way you walk when you walk over there.
Yeah, that's going to be in your heads all day, and you'll be emailing me all day. Thanks a lot, Ron. Thanks for playing that jingle, Hey, good drums right there, too. Anybody loves, if you love music and you love drum, remember, like, when you go to a concert, I know I'm going down memory lane here, but I'm sure people my age, or, you know, even the millennials and Gen Z will relate to this. When you go to a great concert back in the, like, say, the 70s, 80s, or 90s, it was the drum solo. Remember, some of these bands would have these great drum solos. It was the big thing during the concert, right? You'd wait, like Kiss, right? Peter Criss would have a great drum solo. You know what? I went to the Phil Collins concert 2019 in Montreal, and his son was the drummer, and they had a drum solo. It was fantastic. I even recorded. I think it's on my Facebook. But there was something with drum solos back in the day, right? When the lights go down, and then all the spotlights on the drummer, and then and then it just goes nuts. nuts. Yeah. So what was your favorite drum solo? I would love to hear what you guys would like to. I would like to hear who your favorite drummer was, who your favorite drum solo of a band, and yeah, it'd be really great to hear that. It's a decent jam for real. I approve, says Walking Spotted Bear. He loves this. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's a great tune. I got to find out who sings it. I got it from what's it? There's a site where you can go and get all your sounds, and it's all royalty free. You pay for it though, but yeah, it's really awesome. The earworm has now hit the over. I think it's to Chad Smith, says Brett Vianney. Chad Smith, I got my air guitar going every time the show starts, says Jukebox. Yeah, no, it's like I said, it's a really catchy tune. Even my niece, 20 years old, saying, hey, where's that song? I can't get it out of my head. I got my air guitar going every time the show starts, says a Jukebox. All right, let's get on with the show. And speaking of the show, we always start the show with our EDDs. Hey, where's my good friend Bien Trabajo? Every time I think football, I think about Bien. Little drummer boy at Christmas always gets me going. I don't know about that. Hey, I don't know about that. Hey, thanks for bringing the show to a Christmas halt there, Mark. Hey, now we're gonna have to sing a drummer boy here. All right, let's get to the sports betting 101 tip show of the day. Not tip show, but the golden rules. The golden rules of sports betting. And if you follow the show each and every day, we start off the podcast about fundamentals, right? EDD, everyday drills. And the next time you make your picks, always think about value, percentage play, performance cycles, player availability, and use a disciplined money management system. You can do that each and every day right here using the Raymond Report. In fact, you know what? Big Bad Ross the Boss Benjamin is going to be on the show here in just a few minutes. And I forgot to send Ross the link, so bear with me just 1 second. I'm going to send Ross a copy of this link, so this way we can let Ross the Boss into the house there in a few minutes. And let me just go right here and send him this. And nothing like live editing on air. Hey, live producing on air. Doing, like I said, we do everything here. We mop the floors, close the light, do security at night. That is the Raymond Report in a nutshell. All right, today you're going to hear me talk about A, B, and C-type teams in the Raymond Report. A-type teams are teams with a 60 or higher win percentage. B-type teams, 50 to 59.9, and C-type teams, you know the rules about C-type teams.
No, you don't do that.
You don't do that.
Oh, no, never, never.
Why not?
Against the rules of betting about C-type teams, 49.9%. But again, if you do bet on C-type teams, always remember it's probably good sound money management practice to maybe use beer and pizza money on C-type teams, because when you bet on C-type teams and you expect good things, it very rarely happens. And like Bill Parcells says 101 times, you are what your record says you are, and if you are a bad team, well, you're a bad team. All right, bullish teams are teams that are 3-0 in the NFL, college football, CFL. Neutral teams are 1-2, 2-1, and bearish teams, those are teams that are 0-3 or worse, and that's how I monitor cycles in the NFL, college football, and the Canadian Football League. Major League Baseball, NHL, NBA. Bullish teams are 7-0, 6-1, 5-2 in their last 7 games. Teams that are either 3-4, 4-3 are neutral, and teams that are 0-7, 1-6, 2-5. Those what I call bearish teams. All right, little drummer boy at Christmas. Yeah, stumbling, rumbling, get your morning. Bullpen, says OG Wheat. Hey, the ATL is well represented here this morning in the bullpen. Good morning, OG. Hopefully you're having a good morning. Hopefully you don't come in with any Christmas songs like your fellow Georgian counterpart over there. Hey, Mr. Little Drummer Boy. Now, if we play drums, we got to play these drums right here, right? That's the drums we play right here. All right, speaking of drums, remember yesterday I said, all right, we're going to keep an eye out here today on the A and C-type teams, C-type teams that are bearish against A-type teams, whatever the cycle that the A-type teams are. So in game number 1, Cleveland 8-point favorite against Orlando, and I believe Cleveland they won, and I think they covered, right? Orlando was bearish by 10 days. Atlanta against Detroit. Atlanta, I think they won by 6, so Detroit was the right pick there. And the difference between Detroit and Orlando was bearish 10 days, so double-digit numbers, where Detroit was only bearish 1 day. So that's one thing. Remember, I told you guys that we're going to go on every day, and we're going to monitor this for the next maybe the next couple of shows, just to see if we can find an edge, right? It's always about finding an edge. That's all the ABCs of sports betting, right?
These are the ABCs of me, baby.
Yeah, always be closing. Milwaukee, that was my top play yesterday in the beer and pizza money section. And if you're signed up for my premium picks and you're wondering how come he doesn't post much NBA, I'm still trying to get the lay of the land in the NBA right now, right? NBA is like the NFL right now. It's just a little bit wonky, but let the tide settle down a bit. Let's just wait till the smooth waters, and then I'll get more up to my knees in NBA picks. I'm doing NHL right now. You'll find my NHL picks in the premium, but right now I'm just giving beer and pizza money picks on the NBA. Brooklyn, a C-type team yesterday, was neutral. Hey, Steve Nash getting kicked out for the first time of his career. That's a move you make as a coach to get your team's attention, right? For Nash to get, Steve Nash, he's not that guy who's going to be like Nick Nurse. Hey, Nick Nurse can go off sometimes, right? I really don't like types of coaches that just constantly whine. As a coach, it bothers me because it tells me you're not focused on the game. You're more focused on the referee and the next. We always say in football or in sports, the next play is the most important play. Forget the referee. They're not going to change their mind. They're not going to change a call. Yeah, you might intimidate them or you might get in their heads. But the thing is, you got to focus on the game and your players in the situation at hand, right? Charlotte losing to the New York Knicks. They had a neutral against a neutral, 2 A-type teams. Philadelphia, the Sixers. Boy,
Struggling.
Yeah, it could be Doc could be in the hot seat right now in Philadelphia. You got all that talent, and somewhere down the line there might be a fall guy, right? So Toronto beating a bearish team, double digits, right? Bearish. Chicago and Indiana. You got the Bulls neutral. Indiana yesterday was bearish 2 days. Minnesota, San Antonio. San Antonio finally heating down a bit. A-type team in San Antonio, but now they're a B-type team, I believe. And Minnesota, big win. We also had Utah against Houston. Houston was bearish 10 days. Lakers, they've been bearish 217 days. You believe that? Since their last neutral cycle. And Portland against Miami. And so Portland came down to earth a bit yesterday. Bearish 2 days was Miami. Miami got the win, right? A C-type team. So again, we're still early in the NBA, so we're gonna have to keep an eye out on these situations. All right, let's get to our top 10 commandments of sports betting. These are some of my golden rules. And rule number 1, don't bet big money on C-type teams in the Raymond Report. Never lay points, take the points, or bet the money line.
No, you don't do that.
Or the over-under.
Oh, no, never.
Why not? Against the rules. Create your own number. It's your number against the bookmaker's number. Follow a disciplined money management system. Never force a pick on a game because you need action on that game. Yeah, you don't do that.
No, you don't do that.
Never chase losing bets on a bad day.
No, you don't do that.
Bet with your wallet, not your heart. NHL home favorites coming off a 1-goal loss, 60% since 2011. I'll have to take another look here. I like to update that at least once a week. So Isaiah, I know you like that stat, so remind me, maybe every Thursday, we will update that stat to see where we're at. Never bet against A-type teams who are bullish at home.
No, you don't do that.
And the 24-hour rule of betting, take a day off after a big win. Enjoy the win, savor the win, and try to spend that money on something good. Or you save it, right? Put it back into your savings account. Never bet a team who is bearish cycle. Never bet on teams who are in a bearish cycle.
No, you don't do that.
Nope, against the rules. And the money management system. This is something that I said I was going to bring to your attention each and every day. Again, this is not to discourage you about betting on beer and pizza money, but again, if you have an account, you have to have two mindsets. And I'm not saying, it's good to have different accounts, like a different sports book, 2 or 3. You don't want to go over and have like 10 accounts at 10 different places because you don't want your information on all these servers like that. 2 or 3 sports book, I think, is sufficient. And what you want to do is take a look at this. If you're a $10 bettor in your last 20 picks, how long does it take you to make 20 picks in your sportsbook account? Is it 3 days, 4 days, 5 days a week? But just remember, in your last 20 picks, if you've hit 40% and you're a $10 better on the 11-10 rule, you're down $30. If you're a $10 better and you hit 50%, believe it or not, you're still down $10. And 55%, you're up $11. And again, I always say this, that's a lot of sweating for $11. And a $10 better with 60% is up $32 on the 11-10 rule. And the difference between a 50% better and a 60% better is 2 winning picks. Hey, when you look at it and you say, that's a 10% difference, that's huge, right? That's 2 picks. It's 2 picks. So good information. And again, it's always good to have a reminder. And again, I'm not trying to discourage you on sports betting. I'm really trying to help you take a different approach if your approach ain't working, right? If your sports betting approach is not working, consider this approach, because it could help you in the long run. And do like I do. I just have my beer and pizza money and my premium picks. And again, when I do my premium picks, you guys seen it, right? I'm very selective when I give out my premium picks. I'll only do it once in a while. In fact, my last premium pick was on the 24th. It was the Ottawa Senators. So that was, I think it was Monday night. That was the last time I gave a premium pick. And 16-4 last 20. So having a good run right now. And we'll see if we can keep that going. And the thing is about when you're betting big money, and whatever your big money is, right? One unit could be $50, one unit could be $100, $500. Is this, you can't have the silver bullet every day. You got to be selective. And I'll say it all the time, right? You don't buy stocks every day. You don't buy crypto every day. You don't buy a house every day. You pick your spots. I hope you don't buy a house every day. Could get a little bit expensive, but you got to really pick your spots on when you want to earn money and make money, right? And at the end of the day, hey, it's like Rex Ryan says,
Can we have fun? You're damn right. I demand that we have fun.
You always got to have fun doing this. All right, let's get on with the show. Let's go feed some ponies. All right, let him out. Let him out at Belmont. Yeah, they're off and running today at Belmont Park in New York. The Big A, as they call it. It's Aqueduct, because Aqueduct is rebuilding or renovating, so now they're all transferred to Belmont, and that's why they call it at the Big A. It's a $95,000 maiden special weight race today at 12:35 post time. Is the first post time today at Belmont. 6 furlongs on the outer turf, and wow, look at that one. Influentialist. You guys gonna help me out here or what? Influentialist. Man, this is a tough one. This is like a blooper now. Influentialist. There you go. Influentialist. Hey, after 10 times, as Harry Carey would say. Holy cow. Influentialist. Lascano in the saddle on Influentialist. I don't want to say that a friggin' 10,000 times. 20-1 morning line on the 9 horse. There, how about I just say that? The 9 horse in race number 1 with Lascano in the saddle. Lexi Spirit with Castellano in the saddle on the 1 horse. A 5-1 morning line. And the 12 horse, Ocean Spirit with Jose Ortiz, Irad's younger brother, and 4-1 morning line on Ocean Spirit. And the Joker's Wild is the number 2 horse, Geezer Road, with Manny Franco in the saddle here on Geezer Road. But yeah, Influentialist. I don't want to say that 10,000. I think I learned my lesson on saying that word on that name right there. Influentialist. All right, the 9 horse, 21 morning line, but Geezer Road. Look at Geezer's Road, 10-1 morning line on Geezer's Road. But I'm gonna go with Irad's younger brother. I'm going to go with the Ocean Spirit, number 12 horse, 4-1 morning line. Put 10 to win, 10 to place on the number 12 horse, Ocean Spirit, and hopefully he comes in first, then we get paid twice. He comes in second, we get paid once, which is also nice. And you want to bet those horses each and every day right here at the Raymond Report using our tip sheets. All right, if you can't pronounce it, horse's name, best to stay away. Yeah, exactly. Hey, I think if I had like a promo team, I think I just made the blooper of the month right there, trying to say influentialist, eh? Or I have to go to my Google pronouns, eh? Influentialist. Lascano is in the saddle, 21 morning line. Hopefully after I abuse that name for like 5 minutes, it comes in first for you guys. All right, don't forget you can get the tip sheet for I'll get Ross Benjamin to say, hey Ross, what do you think of this 9 horse this morning? I'm gonna set up Ross. Hopefully he's not listening. Maybe I'll see. Oh, there he is. Hey, yeah, there's Ross the boss right there. Hey Ross, how you doing, buddy?
I got a hot tip for everybody on the horses.
Okay, what's the hot tip?
Soldering iron in the fifth.
Saturn iron?
Yeah, hot tip, soldering iron.
Hey-oh. Hey, Ross, did you hear me try to say this horse's name, Influentialist?
Yeah. That's a tongue twister.
Oh
No?
God, it's one of those it's one of those names where you're looking at it and you're trying to break it down and you say, wait, I'm on air. People are looking at me right now. I better look smart here, hey? But how about our offense? How you doing there, Ross the Boss Benjamin?
I still can't hear those little things that you put in there, but
You can't hear them, eh?
No, it's very low.
Very low.
The viewers hear that?
Yeah, they can hear it.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm not hearing it. Right?
Can you hear that one?
I hear it, but it's like way in the distance, like you're miles away. Baby. Yeah, now I hear it.
There you go. All right, I'll have to adjust my mic here.
The horses and you're chiming in with those things. It reminds me of the movie with that guy, that old time movie about the one horse. I can't remember the horse's name, Citation or whatever. But they used to do that in the old days, ringing the bells in the studio, talking about horses in the radio, and then chiming in with those types of things.
With the sound bites. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, add a little bit of entertainment to the show, right?
Hey, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we're here for. Not only to pick winners and educate, but I think the viewers would agree. We need to entertain as well.
Well, like they tell me all the time, I got a face for radio. So, Ross the Boss Benjamin, how was the week last week in the NFL and college football?
Well, college football, I had a good week. I went 4-1. So I bounced back from that terrible week the week before, and I think I'm ready to take off in college football. This is annually when I really get going. Down the final stretch of the regular season and the bowl season, and of course, the college football playoffs to culminate. The NFL, the last 2 weeks, I'm sort of disappointed. Let's see, 2-3 and 3-5, 5-8 the last 2 weeks in the NFL. However, still 27-19 on the year, which is 60%. Ron, I've now hit as you know, I label my best bets as a 10-star top play.
Yep.
I've given out 8 of those in the NFL this week through this first 7 weeks. Reason being, I had a Thursday night game of the month in there. So 8-0 with my NFL 10-star top plays. Folks, every one of those picks are posted at atsstats.com. You can get them right there for $35. The record speaks for itself. And here's the other thing. NFL primetime games, I cashed again on Monday night with the over in that contest in the Bears game. How about them Bears? Anyway, 13-5 on the season with my college or my NFL primetime games, Sunday, Monday, Thursday night. Again, folks, if you want to, you're listening to this because you're definitely interested in sports betting. You're definitely interested in making yourself some money, and certainly you want to hear me and Ron and what we have to say. But at the end of the day, we can't take you we could take you to water. We can't make you drink. So you need to chime in a little bit, make some purchases and make some money.
Yeah, exactly right. And, I always say it is an entertainment, but if you enjoy the show and you want to support the show and you want to make money, Ross showed you last week after, a little bit of a hiccup in one, he bounced back like a pro the following week. And that, that's what we do, right? We don't let 1 week. It's the big picture, right? It's a marathon, not a sprint. And that's good. I'm not having the greatest NFL season. And the one thing I've done is I've scaled down my picks in the NFL, and it seems to be helping me get back on track. And I was talking to a buddy yesterday. We're talking about the looking ahead to the Super Bowl a bit, and I'm saying you look at the AFC, the Bills, you got the Chiefs, Cincinnati to an extent, but the NFC, it's a crapshoot, man.
Wide open,
eh? If I don't know if you looked at some of the futures on the NFC. I'm going to see what one of my bookmakers friends here, what they have any futures on the NFL. I'm not sure if the NFC, let me see, NFC futures. I'm looking at, all right. So San Francisco, they the 31-7, the cornerbacks for the 49ers last week, they got exposed big time, right? Yeah. So I got San Francisco plus 631. I see The Dallas Cowboys at 7:45. Minnesota at 6:01. I just don't know if Minnesota's for real yet. It's just
their offense is, Ron.
Yeah.
Look, when you got the weapons they got offensively, as long as they stay healthy. I know Kirk Cousins takes a lot of heat.
Yep.
For obvious reasons, and I'm not going to elaborate on those. But the guy's a solid quarterback, especially when you put the pieces around him he presently has. Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen on the outside, Irv Smith at tight end, Dalvin Cook in the backfield. They could score with anybody.
Yeah.
The big question mark for them is, in big games, are they going to be able to stop anybody? And are they going to be able to continue to win on the road as well?
Yeah, and then you got Philly at 190. I think Philly obviously is the favorite. Philly's looking good this year, right?
Right. I said it's wide open, but Philly's the clear-cut favorite. But, again, you never know going down the stretch. Let's put it this way. Philly, I guess, is the only team you could really label as an elite team in the NFC right now. I know Minnesota's off to a good start, but like you alluded to, Ron, they still have a lot to prove. And like I said, they need to show me they could play championship defense down the stretch. I'm not so sure that they're capable of doing so. But yeah, I mean, as opposed to the AFC, like you just said, Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati, and several other teams that are
Baltimore.
more than capable. Yeah, exactly. Baltimore, again, big question mark with them is their defense, right?
Yeah.
Which was once the strength of that franchise is now their weakness.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'm guilty of sometimes is you got to remind yourself Ray Lewis and Ed Reed aren't there. It's just, but it's just the subconscious of going back to what you when you say a team, you think of those great teams, and you got to separate the past from the present. But sometimes it's hard because the coordinators sometimes are still there. But Wink Martindale now with the Giants. But you like a game this week that involves the Patriots and the Jets. And another thing that I told my buddy last night, I said, you know what? It's official. No more Jet jokes. Okay? No more Jet jokes. These guys, you got to give them the respect and their due credit. And they're getting the job done. As much as we're just waiting for each week for them to fail. They just consistently get the job done, and when you look at their record this season, 5-2, they're off to a good start, and they're playing New England this week. And I know that's a game you like this week, right, Ross?
Yes, I do. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people are going to be on the Patriots this week, based on the fact that they've owned the Jets over the years. But you know what? This is a different year. It's a different age. New England, as we speak right now, a 2.5-point favorite on the road. Wow. The Jets, again, like Ron alluded to, 5-2, the Patriots 3-4, coming off an embarrassing Monday night home loss to Chicago, 33-14 in a game. They were an 8.5-point favorite. Not only was it embarrassing, the most embarrassing part of it all, with no pun intended, is the Bears the Bears ran for 243 yards and 5.4 yards per attempt against New England. And yes, the Bears are a real good running team, but boy, oh boy, they dominated the game in that regard against that New England defense. And they also forced 4 New England turnovers. And again, I'm getting a lot of background noise, Ron.
Yeah, sorry, my dog's somebody's at the door, and my dog's just barking right now.
All right. Anyway, New England also, they committed 4 turnovers in that game, and that didn't help their cause. And the unsettledness at quarterback, for crying out loud, Matt Jones is only in his second year, and the poor kid comes back from injury. He's getting booed. They bring in Baylor Zappi, and boom, boom, they scored 2 touchdowns in what seemed like a matter of 10 seconds, and then they did nothing from there on out. So Zappi didn't exactly light the scoreboard up or wow anybody with his performance after those first 2 drives. The Jets, by the way, 4-0 straight up in ATS in their last 4, Ron, winning those games by an average of 12.7 points per game. The last 3, they've averaged 156 yards rushing per contest and 5.2 yards per carry. Yes, they lost their star running back last week, unfortunately, in Breece Hall. But they do have Michael Carter, a very good back out of North Carolina, who's more than capable. And also they traded this past week for James Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars, who was stuck behind Travis Etienne and at one time was a bell cow in Jacksonville. And I still think he has a lot left in the tank. In addition, the Jets defense over their last 4, they've allowed just 14 points per game and less than 300 yards per contest. Anytime you have an NFL pick or underdog of 6.5 or less, coming off 4 or more wins in a row, like the New York Jets are, they're playing in games 5 through 9, which is the middle part of sort of entering the middle part of your schedule. And they're facing a team with at least 1 loss. Obviously, the Patriots have that. They're 3-4. Those pick 'em or underdogs of 6.5 or less have gone 17-1 ATS in those games. More importantly, Ron, they won 16 of the 18 straight up. And why I bring the straight up number into play is because it supports the underdog in this particular instance. And those results are all since 2005, Ron. I'm going to take the Jets plus 2.5 versus New England. I would even suggest, and it's not a sign of weakness, it's smart sports betting to cover yourself by buying an extra 0.5 point there. Get it to the key number 3. I know it costs a lot for the premium juice you pay to buy off a key number or buy into a key number, but at the end of the day, the juice only counts when you lose.
Yeah, and it's a peace of mind. That's what one of my big, like, I call it the Geico insurance, right? Get that Geico insurance, you feel good because, how many times we sit in the game, we're saying, okay, if they get this here and then they do that, that's 3. We're going to get hooked. The worst feeling in the world is getting hooked, right?
Yeah. You could have a lot of Geico insurance, but you can't keep having accidents. So
that's a good one right there. Yeah. If you keep buying insurance, that means you got to stop either driving or betting, right? Yeah, that's a good point right there. But no, you made 2 great points. One, the going back to the Steve Spurrier days in Florida, when you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. And I hope Bill doesn't get into this. Okay, like Bill Belichick will have no patience every week about quarterback questions. I'm like, hey, is it Zappy hour this week, Bill, or are we going back to Mac Jones? Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We're off to Cincinnati. Yeah, yeah. He won't put up with that crap. I know that one thing. It'll just. But the thing is, though, that it's a position where you don't want uncertainty every week, and you don't want and for the team, like it's like a backup goalie in hockey, right? When your backup is in hockey, which I'll get to in a second, with your Sabres are looking pretty good, by the way. You just need that confidence at the general position right there on offense. You don't want to be, like when I saw in the first quarter that game against Chicago Bears, and I kept saying, oh man, he better get some points in the first quarter. If not, the fans are going to get restless and they're going to start calling for the backup.
Exactly what happened.
Yeah, exactly right. So yeah, and I think everybody saw it too, right? We're all sitting there going, man, they haven't scored. Belichick's going to, he's going to do the old Ed McMahon here.
I mean, you had Bailey Zappi, who's coming off going 2-0 in his 2 starts for New England the 2 weeks prior, and thrown for over 300 yards on each occasion. It's creating a dilemma, and then you got these New England fans that are fantasizing that this is the next coming of Tom Brady because he was a 4th round draft choice. And as you remember, Ron, Brady was a 6th round pick. Slow down, people.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1, he's not Tom Brady. Number 2, he does not have the weapons on the outside that Tom Brady had throughout his career.
Yeah. All right. I'll just, the last point on this, hindsight being 2020, it's so easy to sit here and tell you, but whenever you got things going, you don't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? You keep going. And it just, it's just, again, hindsight being 2020 is so easy. And the Jets, like I said, they're not a punch line anymore. This team is playing really good, and they played the Broncos, Packers, and Dolphins the last 3, and the pretty good teams right there. Even though the Packers are not but it's still the Packers, right? And then Dolphins still they're off to a great start, and they're in the division. So the division game are always tough to win. All right, I do have a question here, Ross, for you, or some comments. Ross to Boston in the house. I've been dry betting with my official bets this year to gauge my record, especially when I'm on a run and the do factor is ready to sting me. Are the Bengals a trap? They look like the real deal last week. Are the Bengals a trap? I think they're back. I think the Bengals are back. And I said it 2 weeks ago when they were 2-3. I said if they don't win this game this week, they go to 2-4. It's going to be a really hard road to climb, mountain to climb to get back. I personally think Cincinnati's back a bit.
I don't know if the play is a trap, and I'm probably going to have a play on that game, so I have to reserve comment.
Okay.
And that's how I make my living, unfortunately, for the viewer. But
yeah, they understand that.
But fortunately for me, I love what I do.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, I think Cincinnati's going to win the division. I think actually they'll probably win the division by 2 or more games before it's all said and done. I'm not sold on Baltimore. I've never been sold on Lamar Jackson. He's fun to watch, but Ron, it's unsustainable what they're doing. And they continue to put too much onus on the kid and not build around him on the outside. They have nobody who scares you at the wide receiver position. When your best receiver and best threat is your tight end, that's an issue in my estimation, even though Mark Andrews is a very good one at that. So, yeah, I think Cincinnati, you saw for the first time they had that offensive line that they planned to start the season with and had upgraded by replacing 4 of the 5 starters from a year ago. Think about that, folks. This is a team that went to the Super Bowl last year, and they replaced 4 of 5 offensive line starters because they weren't happy with the performance level. Obviously, he was the most sacked quarterback in football, or one of the most sacked, meaning Joe Burrow. So they're now intact again. They had a little bit of injuries early on. And it seems to me like they're starting to develop some chemistry and some cohesiveness. So, yeah, I agree with the viewer. And I agree with Ron that Cincinnati will be a force going forward.
Yeah. Okay, so it seems like the ingredients are there for the under in the London game, says Timmy Two Shoes. That's the Jacksonville game.
I don't agree with that. To be
No?
honest with you. No. I think that I think that this will be a game where the under will be a popular play, and I would lean more toward the over. I'm not going to use the game, but as far as if you're asking me for my advice, no, I don't love the under. I don't even like the under in that game. As a matter of fact, look, the unders can't continue to keep hitting at the rate they are. I mean, going into the week, it was over 60% last week. Going into last week, I should say. And I think the unders went somewhere like 8-6 under again last week. So the unders are hitting that better than 60% this year. And Ron, with your bear markets and your bullish markets and all that kind of stuff.
60.8.
Yeah. That you preach that eventually that number will come the other way. And you want to use a comparison to that game on Sunday morning. Go back to the Monday night affair between Chicago and New England, where everybody jumped all over the under, and not me. I went over the total, and it paid off. 34-point first half certainly helps when you have an over of 40.
Yeah, no, you're right. 6 and I got, let me see here, 7. Well, depending on the number, right? So last week, week 7. 70% of the game. Well, I had 50-50, depending on some of the, some of the hooks. Yeah. But the last week 6, 71.4% of the games went under. Yeah, the under is just crushing it right now. But what does Ross Benjamin say all the time? Think like a bookmaker. And if the bookmaker knows the market's thinking under, they're gonna have to make their adjustments with their number, because right now it's 39.3 for the over in the year, 60.8. And normally, of all sports, football, college, or NFL especially, the bookmaker does a good job reining that number in so that it's mostly between, like, I'll give it like a 4 to 6 point range, like 46 to 54% range, in that range when it comes to the over under, right? Because they need balance to get the to make money.
Well, you're seeing the numbers come down too, right, Ron? The average total seems to be decreasing per week, meaning if you take the average of all the games and their totals compared to what they were in week 1, that's bound to go the other way because it's the bottom line. Look, there's no tricks. I got into this with another handicapper yesterday. He says, what do you think? The bookmakers are trying to fool people? No, it's not the bookmaker trying to fool people. It's the bookmaker's ability to come up with an accurate number and also weighing in on public perception. And right now, the public is perceiving that a lot of these games are going under, and a lot of them are losing money because of it. Because look, public betting, everybody knows most public bettors like to go over a total and not under. It's just human nature.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to sit there watching a whole game and hoping that the defenses prevail. The bottom line is, though, you have to not worry about that. If you're going to watch a game and say, I can't watch a game and bet it under. Well, if under is the play, Ron, under makes the most sense. Bet it under and don't watch the game. I can tell you when I bet unders, I flip to another channel and then I'll flip back. It's agonizing to watch an under. So, yeah.
Well, you said it last week. Remember, you said when the books make money when the favorites and the overs win.
Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly
the books are doing good this year because I still think the underdogs in the NFL have a winning record, right, Ron? I mean, you have that that number. Yeah,
so the favorites this year in the NFL are winning 59.2, but only covering 42.8, where the underdogs are covering 56.4 and winning 40.8% of the game. So
it's unbelievable, right there.
It is
56.4 to 40.8 straight up number for underdogs.
It is unbelievable. I know. I've been just like flabbergasted every week. I come on here and I shake my head every week and I go, this is why, I'm like, I'll be honest, I'm not having the greatest NFL football season. It's just, but
still a long way to go.
Oh, a long way to go. But it is what it is. And it's about making adjustments on the fly, right? When you're handicapping, you got to tinker the right adjustments. And this is why whenever I'm in a rut, and like we say it all, that we're open book here, we say it like it is. When we're the first one to pump our tires when it's good, but the thing,
absolutely.
But when I'm in a little bit of a funk like I am this year in the NFL, I scale right down. So this way, confidence wise, I got to rebuild it back up, right? But
look at folks. I was 68% through the first 6 weeks of the NFL season, or 5 weeks, excuse me, and now I'm at 60. And if you would have told me after 7 weeks I would be at 60% or better, I'd be awfully happy. But I also told you I went 5-8 the last 2 weeks. So I pumped my tires on Ron's show the first 5 weeks in the NFL season. But I also been honest. I even told you I went 1-5 in college football 2 weeks ago. And bounce back with a 4-1. So we're both as transparent as they come, folks.
Oh, absolutely. And that's you don't survive in this industry if you're not transparent. That's for sure. All right, Ross, let's switch gears here. Let's go to Thursday night football in college football tonight. You got did you say Utes? The Utah Utes?
The Utes, yeah. The Utes. My cousin Vinny's play.
The big ragu like that. Hey, the big ragu like that. Washington State hosting the Cougars here today. And I was looking at the last time that Washington State beat Utah in Washington. I think it was 2018 or 2019, something like that. And
they lost. Utah's won the last 3 in the series.
That's right. Correct. And now they're a 7.5 point favorite tonight at Washington State. And the Pac-10 is, with Lincoln Riley going to USC and Oregon having a little bit of after that a little bit of a stumble out of the gate, man, we got a good race going here in the Pac-12, right?
Yeah, USC, Utah, Washington's playing halfway decent. UCLA. I mean, it's right now, it's a pretty strong conference as opposed to what we've seen in recent seasons anyway. I don't know if they have a chance to get a playoff berth unless somebody right now runs the table, either USC or UCLA runs the table. Utah is not going to get in with they've already suffered 2 losses this year. In any event, look at the Utes, as cousin Vinny would say, since the start of last year, I was surprised to see this. They're 0-5 straight up in ATS as a road favorite of 9.5 or less. And conversely, the Washington State Cougars, who haven't been in this situation very often as a conference home underdog of 9.5 or less, have, when they are in that situation since 2007, they've gone 5-0 against the spread. And more importantly, they won 4 of those 5 games straight up. So they've really have cherished that role. Now, here's the thing. Everybody's going to chime in like they did on my channel this week. Ross, Utah is the much better team than Washington State. How could you take Washington State? Well, it's not about picking the best team on paper. It's not about picking who's going to have the better record at the end of the year or who's going to be the better team at the end of the year. I'll come right out and tell you. Utah is clearly the better team than Washington State, possibly on both sides of the ball. However, look at this is it's I weigh in emotion when I handicap my college football games, more so and a lot more than I would in the NFL, where the emotional stability of NFL players are pretty much intact compared to that of college football players
Agreed.
for obvious reasons. Utah's coming off their last 2 games where they faced now number 10 USC and now number 12 UCLA. They split those games, losing at UCLA, but upsetting USC in their previous matchup or previous game, I should say, 43-42, and an absolute thriller. My point is, Utah, when they faced USC and UCLA in their last 2 games, both teams were undefeated at the time, and both teams were top 10 teams. Now, they come into a game against a Washington State team that's 4-3, not bad, but they're coming off 2 straight road losses by 14 points or more. At 4-3, unranked, I just think this is a vulnerable spot for the Utes. And also, like we touched upon before, Ron, Washington State, big time revenge here after losing to Utah in each of the last 3 seasons. Even when Washington State has bad teams, they're very competitive at home in Pullman. It's just a tough place to play. And national TV, Thursday night game against a team that's faced top 10 teams the first 2 times out, and they're coming off a 2-game losing streak, both games on the road. Washington State is 3-1 at home this year, folks, and their only loss came to the team that Ron mentioned just a bit ago, the Oregon Ducks, who are red hot right now, and they only lost that game 41-41 or 44-41. So I'm taking Washington State here, Ron, plus the 7.5 over Utah. I just think the situation is right for the home underdog. I'm not going to call for an outright upset win. It wouldn't shock me, but I like them to get inside this number.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And just like you said right there, coming off 2 road games, the last 2 at Oregon State, at USC, two pretty good teams this year in Oregon State and the Trojans, and now they're at home in front of their fans. It's an isolated game. The crowd's going to be buzzing. This is a great spot here to get plus money on the dog. And you're absolutely right, Ross. When you think of the emotions, you think of the setting, the environment of college football games. Go look at the East Carolina Pirates last week, right? At home against I forget the team they were playing there. Crap. But anyway, I was watching that game because I was on East Carolina, and I was saying it's just there's something about being at home in front of your the student body and the emotions and whatever happened last week. You can't you got to consider it, but it's just go look at all the results this year and go look at the Jekyll and Hyde teams in college football. 1 week it's like, wow, these guys are top 10. They're going to a bowl game, and the next week it's like, holy crap, how was that? What was I thinking last week? They looked so good. Now this week it's just the inconsistency of play of some of these college football teams, and there's something about playing at home in front of the student body that the energy.
I mean, again, student body, college football crowds. It's a whole different atmosphere than the NFL crowds. You know what I mean? NFL crowds get revved up in big games, right? Playoff games and all that, but it's like that. Seems to be like that at the major schools anyway. The top 5 conferences where teams playing at home get an extra boost from usually big home crowds, and I think that'll come into play in this one.
Yeah, and keep in mind, at the beginning of the year, the two Washington teams were doing very, very well. All right, the Huskies and the Cougars. All right, I do have one. It was Central Florida. That's it that they played. East Carolina played Central Florida. That was quite the game. All right, one question here. Ask Ross the Boss, college football. What do you think of Cuse and Notre Dame? Is Cuse a due to come out down to earth? Is this a trap at -2?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think so. I'm not going to use the game, but the Orange are a nice story. 6-1 right now. Gave Clemson all they can handle until the second half before they succumbed and lost by 6. They actually had the ball at the 35 of Clemson in the last 30 seconds and threw an interception. However, my college football database tells me the teams that from game 6 on that were undefeated and come off a straight up loss are usually in for what is labeled as bubble bursting the week after they lose their first game. So it takes a lot of emotion on it. Now, having said that, why I'm not going to use this game is because I'm not convinced with Notre Dame. I mean, here they are. And they're just a 3-point underdog, you said, Ron?
Yeah,
2.5 point underdog.
Yeah, minus. I see. 2.
Yeah, 2. So a 2-point underdog, a 4-3 team against the number 18 team in the country that's 6-1, and the number 18 team in the country is only laying 2.5. Not 2. The other part of the equation is when we talk. Ron, no, I think the books too make adjustments in that line for teams like Notre Dame. They know that they're going to get a lot of action on. So anyway, no, it looks like a trap to me, but I'm not willing to take Notre Dame as well.
Yeah, no, and you know what? Looking at Clemson last week, they went to Clemson. And people are saying, "Oh, Clemson's going to be in the the top 4." And I don't know. I don't know if Clemson I don't think so either. I think that, like Syracuse, good season, good story this year. Dino Babers finally got the team going in the right direction here. But this was not a powerhouse win. It wasn't like an Alabama, Tennessee, or a big win against the SEC type team, right? It's still ACC. And Syracuse, even though Syracuse, one of the top teams in the ACC. In fact, when I look at the records of the ACC type teams, let me see the overall. So Clemson, there's Syracuse at 6-1. Wake Forest, not a bad team this year. And then you look at the other, North Carolina. The other division is just pretty bad. Yeah. But maybe it's an off year for the ACC, right?
Well, North Carolina State would have been a major player until they lost their starting quarterback, Devin Leary. And unfortunately for them, from what I've seen from their backup, there's a huge drop-off going from Leary to him. So not to pick on the kid, but they were a whole different team. North Carolina State's defense is amongst the best in the country, not only in the ACC. Clemson... Unfortunately, Ron, they might end up winning the ACC out of default and end up with you can't deny them if they're the ACC champion with an undefeated record. Inevitably, they're going to get in. But I think Syracuse showed last week that they are vulnerable and they could be had, especially on the road. I mean, that game was at Clemson. I give Syracuse kids a lot of credit.
Oh, yeah.
They were winning that game, and they were winning by a couple touchdowns, as a matter of fact. So, interested to see what goes going forward.
Yeah, Gloria K says I like Washington State. Southern Miss. I guess they're playing UL Lafayette tonight.
Yeah, that's a game that's pretty interesting. UL Lafayette is not the same team they were under Billy Napier, who left for a position at a Power 5 school. Southern Miss is in a bounce back mode because last year I think they were something like 2-10, and they've turned it around a bit this year. If anything, there's a low total on that game of 43. It's like they're trying to entice you to go over the total. I might have a slight lean. I'm not using the game. A slight lean on the under in that contest, Ron.
Okay. And then she says, what about the over 55 for Washington? I don't know if she's talking about Washington or Washington State, but you got to pick on that game. So if people want to get that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
the-
mean, I don't have a pick in that game. Washington State, I used as a free play. I don't have any opinion on
On the
that.
total.
I'd be
Yeah.
honest with you. My main priority at this point in the week is really honing in on sides in college football. Totals are an afterthought that I may look on Friday, especially if I can't find a lot of betting value on a side. So I really don't want to answer that question unintelligently. And I don't want to mislead the viewer's question, but thank you for asking.
Yeah, and that's a great point too. And I'm the same way, Ross. I don't do a lot of totals, and the reason why I don't do a lot of totals is because of the time that you have to put in. Like
Put just as much time in.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in college football. Like, don't even ask me to look at college basketball, but there's just the time and energy that goes into handicapping. If you're tedious like we are, it's just you got to roll up your sleeves and do the work. And the sides keep me occupied enough that I can't really get into the totals. But some guys do, right?
Well, I do in the NFL. Not that I mean, in proportion, I definitely take a lot more sides in the NFL, but I tend to get into more totals in the NFL just because there's not as many games on the board as there is in college football. And I've always said this, Ron, and I'll continue to say it, and I mean it toward college football too. If you leave the totals out of the equation, you're leaving half the board off. And the more choices you give me or you, regardless, the better chance you have of somebody who does this daily and professionally over the long haul, the better chance they have of finding betting value. So it's a two-edged sword.
Yep, I agree 100%. All right, Ross. Hey, good segment today. That was a lot of great information and pearls, baby. We give the audience the pearls. That's what we give. Hey, we give them the good information. Now, football, NFL this weekend. What are you looking at?
I'll have 4 to 5 plays on Sunday, and I'll also have a play on Monday night. I got a game up right now at ATSstats.com, the Thursday night game between Tampa Bay and Baltimore. Speaking of totals, I have the winning total in that contest. So I got 2 games up at ATSstats.com, both college football games on Friday night, 2 winning sides. Saturday, it'll be another big day in college football with a minimum 4 plays. Remember, folks, last week coming off a 4-1 week in college football. My NFL, again, folks, I know I said this before. I'll say it quickly again. 27-19 on the season, good for 60%, or excuse me, 59%. Let's be exact. On my NFL 10-star top plays, everyone has been posted at Ron's site from the get-go. 8-0 with those plays this year. You want to look for that. I will have one on Sunday, and also my NFL primetime games, Thursday, Sunday, Monday night contest, 13-5 this season, which is good for 71%.
Yeah, and you can find Ross's plays right here at ATS Stats. There it is last year. Tennessee was one of your top plays last, I believe that was last weekend.
Was my 10-star top play.
There you go. It's right there. And folks, if you want to get Ross's plays, what you do is you go to the website, ATS Stats, where you see picks. You can see you can buy the single day picks, or if you go to Ross's homepage, you can also get one of his packages or his single day picks, and you can get them each and every day here at ATSstats.com, or you want to see his website at rbwins.com. That's where Ross hangs his hat each and every day at rbwins.com. All right, Ross the Boss Benjamin, thanks again for coming on the show here on a Thirsty Thursday. We always theme our shows here. Tomorrow is a Football Friday, which I know it's not original, but I call it a Friendly Friday. Maybe that's more original. But thanks for coming on the show here today, and good luck with your picks this weekend.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate you having me. Thank you for the viewers and their participation, and I look forward to next week, buddy.
Awesome. Thanks. All right, folks, that is Ross Benjamin of rbwins.com, and you can get Ross's picks this weekend right here at the website, ATSstats.com. And Ross, every day he hits a home run when he comes on the show here. He gives out great information. And the thing, when you get 2 guys like us who's been doing this for, a long time, it's always, sometimes we just, it's like 2 people sitting in a coffee shop or a bar and just talking and just giving you guys what comes off the top of our head, and having the questions. When you guys come up with questions and it's sporadic, right? And it triggers something else, and then it just leads to a great conversation. All right, let's get on with the show. And it never fails. Every time we do a show here, the UPS or the FedEx or somebody ordered something and Rusty goes nuts, eh? But we'll get Rusty on the show here tomorrow. Hey, Rusty hasn't made an appearance here. He hasn't grabbed the mic on a Friday there in a couple of weeks, so we'll have to get Rusty on the show here tomorrow. All right, let's get with one of our favorite parts of the show.
We're talking about practice.
Oh, that's loud.
Not a game. We're talking about practice. Practice, man. I mean, how silly is that?
Well, it's not silly at all, because we are talking about the 80% Club stats, and you get the stats and trends each and every day right here at atsstats.com. Again, folks, don't forget, take advantage of the 25% flash sale we're running right now, and it's going to be running for a while. What you want to do is, once you sign up, you'll see a promo code. Put in the promo code ATS25. ATS25, all uppercase ATS25, one word, and you will get 25% off your weekly, monthly, or year package right here at atsstats.com. And then you'll have access to all the tools in the toolbox, my beer and pizza money picks, and you can get that here at the website. All right, Memphis Grizzlies 10-1 straight up as a away team, coming off a Atlantic Division opponent the last 2 years. The Golden State Warriors 9-1 as a 9.5 point home favorite, coming off a loss in their last game last 2 years for 90%, which is pretty good right there. And let me see here, we got the Warriors, another Warriors. Okay, we got that one the last 5 years. The Mavericks 13-2 as they pick in the -3 away favorite, coming off a 1-game road stand. And let me see if I have any totals here. Hey, it's all here. We got one total down here. The under 10-2 for the Warriors as a 9.5 point home favorite, coming off a Pacific Division opponent the last 7 years. Let's go take a look at some of the stats and trends in NHL hockey. Let's go to the board in the National Hockey League. Got a lot of games on deck here tonight. Let's go to the Bettman circuit. Let's go to NHL, and let's take a look at some of these pearls right here. St. Louis Blues as a road team in the total 6.5 and 7 last 15, 12-3 straight up for the Blues, coming off a tough loss last night against the Oilers. And if you like the puck line, we got some good puck line. Washington as a road team last 2 years, total 6.5, and they allowed 3 goals against last game. 12-2 on the puck line. Winnipeg as a road team last 3 years, coming off 2 unders, 11-2 to the puck line. So hey, puck line might be the way to go on the puck line.
I'm Bob McKenzie. This is my brother Doug. How's it going, eh?
How's it going, eh? Vancouver as a road. Oh, Vancouver. Ooh, I gotta get this soundbite for. Sorry, Vancouver Canuck fans.
Struggling.
Yeah,
Struggling.
That's a double one right there. 0-7 to start the year. Vancouver as a road underdog before non-division game on a Thursday, coming off a 1-goal loss, and they allowed 3 or more goals against. 13-1 against the point spread. Maybe they get their home win tonight or road win tonight. 10-3 straight up. And let me see here. Let's one more for the road. 2 for the money, 3 for the road, 4 to get ready, and go Cat go. Eh? Remember that song? I don't know, just came out of the blue. That's how it works in this show, eh? I just get these things, it just comes out like that. All right, Buffalo as a home favorite, last 5 years on 1 day's rest, coming off a road loss as an underdog, 8-2 to the over, maybe 8-2 to the over, and that's your mic drop here today on the Raymond Report. And this was the stats and trends. And always remember, trends are your friends, but they don't pay the rent.
We're talking about practice. Not a game. We're talking about practice. Practice, man.
I mean, how silly is that? All right, this was the Raymond Report. Ross Benjamin was on the show here today, and Ross gave you guys some nice picks this weekend. He liked the Jets plus 2.5. He also and he said, get that Geico insurance, but you don't want to get in too many accidents, because if you're always buying insurance, I mean, that's not a good thing, right? But yeah, he likes the Jets plus 2.5, but buy up to plus 3. And also 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, go Cat go. Yeah, go, says Gloria K. Hey, it's a catchy tune, right? It's a nice little jingle, just like our theme song here. All right, yeah, you like the Jets plus 3, and you also like Washington State tonight against, did you say the Utes? Yep, Utah Utes tonight against Washington State. And I do like Washington State tonight, and hopefully they get you the money, and hopefully we do this for you guys here tonight.
Show me the money!
Show you the money. All right, folks, my name is Ron Raymond. You can catch me here each and every day, 10:30 Eastern, Monday to Friday. And this was the Raymond Report. And I hope you guys have yourself a great rest of your day. And we'll see you back here on a football-friendly Friday. As always, Harry Carey, get us out of here.
Hello again, everybody. Harry Carey from Wrigley Field on a beautiful day for baseball. To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Joe own the Chiefs.
Owns.
I don't know.
Struggling.
Can we have fun? You're damn right. I demand that we have fun.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.
Straight cash, homie.
Holy cow.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sammy, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear.
What the hell's going on out here? Woo! If you smile, but the rock is cooking. That's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.
Let's go to eat a goddamn snack.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, now, would you look over there? Big red lips and long blonde hair. Say, come here, baby, let me get you stare. Like the way you walk over there. Hey, now, would you look over there? Long black boots and long hair. Say, come here, baby, let me get you stare. Like the way you walk over there. Ain't no girl like, ain't no girl like that. No girl like that. I just want to talk to you. Talk to you. Woo! Drive around. Take time to fool around. Come on, let's drive around.
Struggling.